Hey Mila, how you doing today?
Hello, Kayo. How are you? I'm very well, thank you.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How's your day been so far?
Well, it's beginning to snow here in
Oh,
March.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's just raining. It's just raining for us out here. It's just raining for us. But yeah, it's good to see you. Let the people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, Mila.
Okay, so I am a relationship and dating coach, and am the founder of From Single to Couple relationship and dating consultancy, and I will explain a bit more about our products and offerings in a minute. Um, my background actually, surprisingly, is in the corporate world. But after 25 years, I decided to dedicate all my time to this field about which I'm really passionate. So I help women and men as well, of any age, to find the love they want and deserve and to build a healthy, happy relationship. And I know that there is a gap and a huge opportunity here. That's one of the reasons I decided to start this business and make the career change. And I know this firsthand as well because I used to be a single mom with a very questionable relationship track record. And at that time, years ago, my now husband, we didn't know each other, but he was going through a very similar process because he was on his second divorce
Okay.
and he was pulling his hair out and asking himself a similar question: what am I doing wrong? And we had to do a lot of work on ourselves and understand what indeed went wrong and how. And when we met about 7 years ago, I think we were in the right state of mind at the right place and the right time. So we realized that relationships don't necessarily have to be painful, feel like walking on eggshells or pulling teeth. So it is possible to create a relationship, your dream relationship, but you have to start early. You have to start actually while you're still single.
So would you
So I
say,
hope that this explains, yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, would you say it's the kind of success that you've had with your current partner now that really was the light bulb moment to let you figure out that, like, yes, this is what I want to do in terms of relationship coaching?
Yes, of course. It was I suppose you described it very well as the light bulb moment because I realized that the method I devised for myself indeed worked. And who knows, maybe the old me of uh, 10 years ago would have blown this relationship,
Right.
as we often do. So we both realized the right sequence and the step-by-step process of finding the right partner for you. And we became a bit of a legend amongst our single friends and colleagues. So they kind of started coming to us for dating and relationship advice.
Right.
So that was the initial phase, and subsequently I did attain a certification. So I completed a training course, science-based relationship and dating coaching. So now some of the methods which I came up with intuitively, I also have the scientific foundation based on decades of research
Right.
and psychology.
Right, right, right. Now you mentioned the old you that you said you might have blown this type of a relationship if it was
Yeah.
back then. Now looking at all of us, we all have different struggles when it comes to previous relationships, and we navigate through that to get to where we are
Yeah.
now. What
Mhm.
would you say was some of your previous struggles in relationships, looking at the old you, and how did you navigate through that to get to where you are now?
Um, well, as a woman, I was and I know I'm allowed to say that, but sometimes we're just prone to going from 1 to 100 and from A to Z, skipping all steps in between when we fall for someone.
Right,
And I think one of the key points is that we become intimate with a man we're dating too quickly.
right,
And again, I'm not a man, so I'm only saying this from my point of view. But we tend to be we tend to succumb to the effects of oxytocin and other hormones very, very quickly. And someone who we're just beginning to date, and maybe we're still unsure, we're on the fence about that person, they may be completely unsuitable for us. We don't know any of their views or life values. But if we jump into bed with them too quickly, again, we are flooded by all these hormones, and um, uh, they sort of control us and our decisions. I would say, all right, well, he's not so bad after all. He's all right. This is all very nice and cozy. So I know I for sure wasn't the only one, and I've spoken to many women who fall into this trap. Then I also, due to my upbringing, I had perhaps a low self-esteem, um, which I didn't realize for a long time, but that would probably push me to get involved with um, unsuitable men. Uh, so literally, just any man who would pay attention and pursue me. And I know that men will pursue women for many different reasons, and not always with a view of marriage or relationship. But for me, a man pursued me. That was it. I wouldn't even ask myself such crucial questions as, is he right for me? Is it going to be able to give me what I want in a relationship? And again, like many women, I was very easily wooed, and that seldom leads to, I would say, healthy, lasting happiness in a relationship.
right. So would you say it's a case of being intimate too quickly, or is it more to do with like being secure within yourself? For example, if a woman is already secure within herself and she chooses to be intimate at her own pace, whether that's quickly or she waits, do you think there's a problem with that? Or do you feel like a woman should wait regardless? Or what is your opinion on that?
Um, this is not a rule, by the way. It's again, it's a recommendation, and I think that even well, first of all, it's up to a woman when she wants to have sex with a guy. It's not There's no rule book guidance. If it feels right to do it soon, fine. But what I'm saying here, even for a very secure and a confident woman, um, becoming intimate with a man, it will change her view of that man and the relationship. Because again, the hormones produced during sex, when our bodies are flooded with a cocktail of hormones, they will um, they will make us feel great and a little bit high, but they will prevent us from seeing the situation as objectively as we probably should. So, for someone younger who's just dating casually, or perhaps there is no dating goal as such, I don't think it matters. But if a lady is really has her mindset on a marriage, having a family, I think it's advisable to just tread more carefully. And if she is looking for a life partner, she should probably start with um, making sure they can be friends, talking about what their views are on a serious relationship, in principle, uh, what are their key life values? Because key life values, such as views on family, health, money, career, such life values will they are the main predictors of the long-term happiness in the relationship. In other words, they keep people together.
Right.
But when there is a clash, it's one of the main predictors. The relationship may not withstand the test of time.
Right.
So again, it really depends on what the dating goals are.
For sure. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Once again, like for women that like maybe they've had a relationship in the past, but like it didn't necessarily work out, right? So
Mhm.
they kind of feel like they kind of failed in that relationship. So now they
Mhm.
carry around this sense of like shame about like
Mhm.
a failed relationship, and it's kind of hindering them from opening up to new
Mm.
relationships. So, for this type of woman, what is your opinion or viewpoint on how she can begin to open herself up to new relationships, even though she's carrying around this sense of shame about her failed relationship in the past?
Yeah, shame. Shame is an interesting one. Yeah, it can be shame, or sometimes a sense of failure, or it could be anger when we're angry and we blame perhaps our ex-partner for what happened. So I would say 100% best to pause and not to rush into dating while you're working through all those emotions, because they do need to be unpacked. And the first exercise probably you could do is identify your relationship patterns. So break it down. How select, let's say, maybe two, three previous relationships, not just the last one, but and break them down. See how they started, what was good about them, what you enjoyed, and what were the things that weren't so good. Identify them. How did relationship end? How did you feel about the way it ended, and so on. So I think most of us have certain patterns, and this is understandable because, as you said, we all have slightly different underlying issues or insecurities. So, very critical look at relationship patterns would be a good start. And then once you've identified those, you can see which events and qualities perhaps made you unhappy and led to the eventual demise of the relationship. And therefore, you will know what to avoid in the future.
Yeah.
And the main thing is to understand it's it's not really anyone's fault. When you get cheated on, for example, it's very difficult not to blame your partner. And it's understandable they crossed the line. But to help you move on and move past those feelings linked to the previous relationship, I would advise to try take the anything personal out of it. Instead of blaming yourself or your ex, just blame the relationship
Mhm.
as a concept. It was not the right time for us. We were too young. we weren't well matched, and we didn't recognize it when we got involved. So turn these personal statements into a neutral statement. It
Right.
happened to us. So it's a well-known psychological exercise method to take that very personal feeling out of the process and blame it on something else, which has no consequence. Um, the Another useful exercise, of course, is to avoid triggers,
Right.
and if that means physically throwing some stuff out, do it,
Right.
because these tokens and some gifts or personal belongings, they do indeed trigger us if we're still upset about the way our previous relationship broke down. So that's one of the things. Then writing, doing something creative, releasing your energy, and writing. You can write a letter to your ex, but it's just for your eyes. It's not for sending.
Right.
So
Right.
do not type it on the phone or on your computer, because it can be too easily sent by mistake, or maybe in the heat of the moment when you had a couple of drinks.
Right. Right.
Uh, Instead, just take a piece of paper and write a letter to your ex, expressing the feelings, the emotions, whether it's anger or guilt or something else, whatever you're feeling. And then just put it to one side. And you can repeat this every week, every couple of weeks, or every month, depending on how you feel and how intense your feelings are. And you will see, you will track the progress and compare those letters, and you will see how your negative emotions are dissipating over time and how you feel better. So, this writing process, again, it's not for sending, it's just for you as an emotional release.
Right, right. So, in essence, looking at the previous relationship as a separate entity and packaging it along with like all the gifts that came along with it, write letters and package that with it, and just put it as like something separate from your current self and even separate from your partner in order to disengage from it. Would that be accurate into what you're trying to explain?
Yes, yes, but they're all different methods. So again, getting rid of the triggers, try to avoid blaming yourself or the partner. Just shift that blame, that focus on something else. Wrong time, wrong place. Take the personal element out of it. And for emotional release, you can, if you wish, try to write a letter simply to again vent and release those negative emotions. Actually, we haven't talked about physical exercise, but I find, and it's backed by research and science, that high energy physical exercise um, undoubtedly helps us to reduce stress and
Yeah,
feel better, feel better, instantly changing our mood for the better.
yeah,
And
yeah.
getting fit in the long term is also a great way to increase confidence.
Yeah, yeah. Physical exercise definitely helps everybody in a number of areas as well, including like relationships and health and things like that. So now,
Yeah.
in the context of human nature, like when we go out all the time, we see different people that we're attracted to and
Mm.
different people that entice us and things like that. So in that context, what is your viewpoint on monogamy versus non-monogamy?
But it's completely individual. I'm a more traditional person, and I would always I wouldn't feel right being polyamorous relationship. Well, I did some silly things when I was young, but in principle, I always wanted to have a family and a partner, which I do. But I can't really enforce this point of view on anyone else. If if especially younger people see that playing the field is what feels right for them at that moment, so be it. So I don't preach personally. I'm more traditional kind of monogamous person, but it's very individual. What do you think?
Oh, like I try to not put my opinion on, like just to get
Yeah.
the different perspectives.
Mm,
But I see it as like each their own.
yeah.
Everyone like is different, and everybody should
Mm,
listen to themselves and see what is best for them. Now, speaking about that, like people for
mm,
people that are maybe in a monogamous relationship, but one of
mm,
the partners is interested in non-monogamy, would like to open up the relationship but is worried about how they're going to communicate this to their partner
mm,
in case they're
mm.
going to disrupt the relationship. In your view, is there a way to bring that kind of conversation up in a monogamous relationship if one partner is feeling like they're interested in opening up the relationship?
There is no easy way, and um, I know it happened to me. So when that happens, people react in a very different way. Some can be supportive, but it's not guaranteed. So um, if um, if you're feeling very strongly about it, you have no choice but to bring it up, even if um, you risk derailing the relationship. Because again, living a lie, being in a relationship which is not fulfilling for either party is not a great recipe
Yeah.
for success. So yes, but on the other hand, if you're in a really uh, healthy, happy relationship and you value a partner, ask yourself, is this just a fad? Because if this is a fad and you're just being curious, if your worry of derailing the relationship is too strong,
Right,
don't do
right,
it.
right.
Yeah,
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 you got to be like honest with yourself and be clear about like what this actually means to you, and if
yeah.
it's worth it for
Mm,
you, especially if
mm.
it's going to disrupt the relationship. Right. So,
Yeah,
even on the
sure.
other side of that, like for people that they've chosen monogamy, both partners are monogamous, and this is what they
Mm,
want going forward. But along the line, infidelity has happened. Somebody has
mm,
stepped out of the relationship, but their partner doesn't know what has happened. So the partner that has stepped out of the relationship is now carrying around a sense of guilt.
mm,
They don't want to continue living a lie. They would like to come clean to their partner.
mm,
But once again, they're worried about destroying the relationship because of
mm,
what's happened. So,
mm.
in your opinion, how can they talk about infidelity with their partner? Or do you feel like it's a viable option to not mention it and just let it fade out over time?
Of course, it's a viable option, of course, and I'm all for openness in a relationship. But if that happened, I think the first thing you have to be very honest with yourself. If you know it was just a one-off mistake, you slipped for whatever reason, um, then perhaps if you value your relationship, you just have to keep your mouth shut. I don't know, it's very individual. People's tolerance levels are very different. I know that many people they will forgive infidelity. It really depends on their background, their upbringing, and their views. It depends on their cultural background because in some cultures, a man is almost expected to stray and have a lover. Um, so it's very individual, and I can't really provide any clear advice, not knowing the situation.
Right, right,
Um, so again, a balance.
right, right. And
If you come clean, you must realize it's very likely to end the relationship if your partner doesn't have that um, understanding and tolerance. And
right, right. And okay, for someone that chose not to speak about it, do you feel like if their partner was to find out further along the line, it would be m more difficult to rectify the situation, or
Mm.
do you feel like it would have been really too bad anyway if the person wasn't open to that kind of behavior or like accepting of that kind of behavior in any kind of way?
It depends kind of how it happened. When someone I don't know slipped once and there was some ridiculous drunken night out and there were no witnesses, that's it, it's gone. Again, it's really unlikely it's going to come up in the future. And again, I'm not condoning that behavior, but um, accidents and some people do stupid things under the influence of alcohol, for example.
Right,
Um, if you had if someone had an affair uh, with the same, or I don't know, with different people, well, first of all, you need to ask yourself, why did that happen? Why did that happen? Um, Lack of self-control, temptation, no respect for their partner. Um, One would have to identify what exactly is going on, and if yes, if such affair carried on over time, and there are visible traces, then I suppose yes, they would have to speak to their partner if there's any chance of mending that relationship.
right, right, right.
And,
Now, looking at
that,
brand new relationships, when people get into a brand new relationship, there's like a sense of a lot of chemistry, like they're feeling a lot of butterflies. They really want to immerse themselves into this new relationship. But some people, along the line of immersing themselves into this new relationship, they tend to lose their sense of self in that process. So,
yeah.
how do people immerse themselves into a new relationship without necessarily losing their sense of self in that process?
Mm. Yes, I understand, and that work probably has to be done before you even start even go out dating. Um, so when this happens, quite often we have a void inside us, and maybe low self-esteem or insecurity that we feel that other person, the one we date, feels that void. But um, in reality, it's never healthy to put that much uh, weight on a relationship with anyone.
Right,
I understand that again, the hormones sometimes we're helpless and overpowered, but the sense of self is always there. If we don't have it, we will allow ourselves to be hurt repeatedly
right,
because we lose ourselves in a relationship. And in this instance, uh, time is often our best ally because we can't help that phase of the passionate love. Um, And we also know, according to science and research, that it inevitably ends, it wears off. So, passionate love, fueled by hormones and attraction, it does not last beyond about 24 months, something like that. So in some cases, it could be 6 months. Sometimes it could be maybe stretching it even up to 3 years when we have those rose tinted glasses and we can't really see the partner or the reality for what it's really like. But eventually, it it does wear off, and we see things more clearly as we lose those rose tinted glasses. So the thing to do here is to try to take things slowly and at least avoid making any life changing decisions during that passionate love phase.
Right.
So experience the passion, but stay grounded and follow your path at that time instead of very quickly jumping off and following that other person. And you will see that you will know when that passionate love begins to wear off. And if you still feel strongly about that person, if you see that all your dreams and life values are still aligned and you can carry on forward, great. That's a way into a healthy, lasting relationship. On the other hand, very often we discover that uh, when the passion wears off, we're left kind of disappointed and all the imperfections and all the incompatibility and clashes become very evident, very obvious. So in this case, if you haven't made any life-changing decisions such as moving, leaving your family, starting a family, getting married, um, it's the right time. Then you can decide. You're still relatively free to decide whether you want to stay in that relationship or not. So again, go back and work on yourself before you start dating. Make sure you know who you are and what you are, and you have some level of confidence, as in your place in this world and your path. Because again, when you're looking at when you're looking to someone else to fix uh, and to fill the void for you, it's not a very healthy relationship.
Right, right.
And the second point, take things slow. Don't make any life changing decisions during that passionate love phase
Excellent.
when your judgment is clouded.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Mila, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for everything that you shared. Where could people find you, find out more about you, and find out more about what you do?
Well, the easiest way, if you go online to our website, which is www.single-2-couple.com. It has all the information about relationship and dating coach and one-to-one sessions. We also have kind of a DIY version, a video course, which is very affordable. It costs probably less than one date night, one night out. And this is something I created with the help of my husband. And we share male and female perspectives on dating and early stages of the relationship at the same time. So it provides step by step guidance. And I don't know if you'll be able to share some
Yeah, yeah,
links and
yeah.
my contact
Yeah,
details. I will provide these as well.
yeah, I was just about to say, for the viewers, all of that information will be in the description, so you can contact Mila and find out more about what she does. Once again, Mila, thank you so much for coming on. Any
Oh, thank
final,
you.
you're welcome, you're welcome. Any final words before we wrap up?
Um, Guys, always stay true to yourself. Relationships are wonderful, and They bring us so much happiness and satisfaction, but we can't rely on other people to find ourselves or to fix ourselves. Always work on yourself first, and then you will make your partner happier if you're true to yourself, and you will be happier
Excellent.
in the long run.
Thank you so much, Mila.
Thank you, Kayo.